Confused where to start? UPSC. One decision can change everything.
Like to thank Vajiram and Ravi.
Vajiram current affairs test series.
Vajiram का भी काफी help.
Vajiram is the best.
But Vajiram, it is something holistic.
It helped me in boosting my confidence.
Structured learning expert. Mentorship in latest results, top 10 out of 10 from Vajiram. Legacy of AIR 1. Trust. One name. Vajiram and Ravi.
Hello, my name is Vaishna Biswas and I have secured All India rank 367 in UPSC Civil Service Exam 2025. In this video, I will share my strategy regarding GS2. I scored 110 in GS2, which is considered a considerably high score. So, what I think made the biggest difference in my marks is simply, I think, following a structured and systematic process. For GS2, firstly, what are the subjects? The subjects are polity, governance, social justice, and international relations. So, the tendency, I think, is to not give enough attention to governance and social justice. Even for IR and polity, there is a struggle that the aspirants face when transitioning from prelims oriented preparation to mains oriented preparation. So I simply took a different approach for prelims and mains. For example, for IR in prelims, there are certain things which are more important, like places in news, the international organizations which have held any events. But for mains, there is a very clearly spelled out syllabus, and the topics which are asked are very different in nature, like India's relations with the neighborhood, like the nature of the different international bodies and how they affect India. So I simply approached prelims and mains in a segregated manner. I followed the basic process of building my foundation, of writing PYQs, of getting them evaluated. So I did not do anything extraordinary, but I think whatever process I followed, I did that very thoroughly and consistently. Now, how I approached the syllabus without being overwhelmed. So for that, I think you simply need to take one topic at a time, one chapter at a time, rather than looking at the entire syllabus and feeling like this will never be finished or you will never be able to complete this. So simply divide it into small or short-term goals. Like for governance, take e-governance on one day. Take transparency on another day, take citizens charter on another day. And when you finish that topic, write all the PYQs that have been asked related to that topic. So that is how you consolidate each topic, and later, after at least 2 rounds of revisions, you will be able to condense whatever bulky notes you may have made into one-pagers, because certain things will be so inbuilt that you won't need to even include them in your short notes. The other things you can include as more to say cues to help you remember. So that is how it is only with time, with effort, with some time being invested, that the vast syllabus seems to become manageable. Now my course strategy for the different subjects. So for polity is a very fundamental subject for UPSC and both the prelims and main stages. So what I followed is simply, first I did my foundation course. So there it was Anubhav Saran sir who was teaching polity, and he's presently, I think, associated with Unacademy. So his way of approach of teaching polity was very engaging, because he taught in a very witty and humorous manner with a lot of satire, which kept the students engaged. He used to use memes, in fact, to help us remember certain concepts. He used to also have 5 prelims practice questions at the beginning of the class to basically act as an incentive for us to revise. So that was the beginning or the stepping stone for me into polity, and under the guidance of a good teacher, it was a strong beginning. So alongside the class, I used to, whenever a chapter was taught in class, I used to refer that chapter from Lakshmikant. Sometimes sir also used to say that it has been covered thoroughly in class, so no need to refer to Lakshmikant. There I did not. So I supplemented the class notes with the notes of Lakshmikant, and later for Prelim specific revision, I also joined Sarthi IAS's prelims revision program. So Mudit Gupta sir again came with a set of very well organized notes. There, whatever extra points were there from Lakshmikant, he integrated into his notes itself. He integrated the prelims PYQs also after each chapter. There I had this chapter wise collection of PYQs which I practiced. Now for mains, for polity. So for mains again, there is a very well defined syllabus in polity. It is spelled out very well, and if you analyze the PYQs, you will also realize that what kind of questions are asked. For local bodies, for example, it is a very important topic. Questions are asked very frequently, like the questions on funds, functions and functionaries, 3 Fs. That is something you can use across answers. You can use in other types of questions on local bodies even when this is not directly asked. There are questions on judicial accountability, judicial independence. Judiciary again is a very important topic, and it was asked in fact in 2025 also. So prepare each keyword and also write the PYQs for each keyword. Now for governance. Governance is not as vast as polity. For governance, if you follow a basic source, like I followed Harshmeet sir's lectures. So that covered each keyword and each topic once again. The core idea is this only, to leave nothing uncovered. So from the topics of Citizens Charter to transparency to e-governance, everything was covered in his notes, in his lectures. And he also taught us, because this is a main specific subject, so he taught us PYQ solutions in class itself, sample answers to PYQs. That again gave us extra content and some value addition also. So that is how I approach governance from a foundation perspective, and after prelims, between pre and mains, I simply took some extra content from Write Smart. So Write Smart is a course where actual UPSC PYQs are solved live in class by Shivan sir. It is a course of Sarthi IAS. So I supplemented my foundation notes with the Write Smart content, and very important, after the Write Smart class, suppose there are 10 PYQs, so which sir has solved in class itself. So after the class, I will write those PYQs myself, I will get them evaluated, and before the actual mains paper also, I will revise from those PYQs. I think this especially helps because ultimately when you write the answer, you are writing your answer in the form of intro, body, conclusion. It's not your notes which you are directly replicating. So I think revising in a question answer format comes in handy quite a bit. Then for international relations, IR is a very dynamic subject, and so you can never expect to be really done with the subject, and you are never at that stage where you don't need to update your material anymore. So here again, but again the static foundation is important, because the history of what happened between two countries is very important to understand, to know what is happening today or even predict what might be happening in the future. So there again, I followed Chetan N sir. He is now associated with Unacademy. I found his lectures very exhaustive as a foundation stage beginner. So he covered everything, including the neighborhood relations, including relations with the other developed countries like that of the European Union or USA. He covered the international organizations from a mains perspective. So there I got the basic foundation. Then again, before prelims, I followed Satyai's prelims revision program. So Varun Jain sir came with his lectures there. Very good cost to benefit ratio I got from his lectures. Between pre and mains, he came up with an updated set of lectures on IR. So I watched those, and simple process of just writing PYQs, integrating current affairs into them, and also getting them evaluated, which I again did through Write Smart. So that is how I mentioned. Which sources I relied for GS2, I will just summarize in a brief manner. So for polity, I followed Anubhav Sarant sir's lectures in foundation stage. I of course read Lakshmikant alongside. Making PYQ based notes, I used some websites, online websites like Educhemy and PWIS, because they have model answers to the PYQs. Apart from that, later I followed Mudit Gupta sir's revision notes. and before mains, I also refer to WriteSmart's PYQ solutions. For governance, the WriteSmart part is common. For governance, I again mentioned Harshmeet sir's foundation stage lectures, and apart from that, not really anything much extra. For international relations, Chetan sir in the foundation stage, Varun Jain sir's lectures in the prelims and between prelims and main stage, and again WriteSmart. So that is how I limited resources, because after this, simply it is practice which matters. How did I make my answers analytical and multidimensional? So this is not really something which I did consciously. In general, writing is something which comes naturally to me, especially creative writing. So I simply try to write answers which fit the demand of the question, and even understanding what is the demand of the question, that is something that WriteSmart helped me with. And regarding multidimensionality, there are certain approaches I learned in WriteSmart which facilitated this multidimensional approach of answer writing. Like there is something called component approach, where suppose you are asked about why transparency is important in governance. So you break governance into various components. Or suppose you are asked about the role of pressure groups. So break down the function of pressure groups in various stages, like advocating for policies, like actually organizing the masses. So this is how this approach level answer writing is something that helped me in the multidimensionality. How did I develop the skill of critical evaluation for GS2? So this, I think, simply comes from a very strong conceptual foundation. That is developed if you follow whatever source you are following for foundation, whether it's a lecture series, whether it's a material. Simply make sure that you go through it understanding the concepts, and that is something that is required throughout for every subject, that you understand the concepts and you can apply them. So applying them again, you can assess your ability of whether you are being able to apply your knowledge through reading of current affairs. If you are able to understand what is going on, you are, that means, in that domain of critically evaluating things, of analyzing things. So critical evaluation is simply, this is how it is developed. So role of current affairs in GS2 preparation. So it is very important, especially for IR, but also for all the subjects including polity, governance, social justice, because whenever you give examples, whenever you quote any reports, whenever you quote Supreme Court cases, so if you can quote some recent cases apart from some well-established and older ones, that always gives an edge in your answer. How I integrated them? I read the newspaper on a regular basis, so I collected examples from there. I also used Mains 365 for value addition of my answers. I took a printout of that, and wherever I want to annotate something, I'll do that. While revising also, I used to make sure that my recent examples, recent cases, those recent reports, those are something I'm being able to include. How to use Supreme Court judgments, committees, etc. So that, how to use them, or how to drop them, where to drop them, that is again something that comes from topper copy analysis. So for example, I used to refer to topper copies like that of Aditya Srivastav sir, that of Harshita Goyal ma'am. And there's actually a channel called the Civils Club. They have a YouTube channel where there are teachers who analyze the topper copies. They also compare one topper copy with another to see who has done better in which dimension. So there I learned to actually drop in what is required and where it is required. One more thing I will add, that is Mudit Jain sir's basically just understanding mains YouTube lectures. So for each paper, GS1, 2, 3, he has done a long lecture where he basically familiarizes you with the ethos of the paper. Like for GS2, a sample answer, what kind of intro it should have, what kind of points there should be in the body, how to conclude, right? So he himself gave this framework that if you are introducing some, if you are writing an answer to some polity question, always you can quote the relevant constitutional article in the intro. So that is how I learned. what kind of answer structure worked best for GS2? So it was the simple intro body conclusion thing only, just for depending on the question, how to introduce the question. Either you can, for polity, you can quote some article. For governance, you can quote some report or some index like Good Governance Index. For social justice, again, you can quote reports like that of Oxfam in case of inequality or poverty. For IR, you can quote, definitely you can quote recent events, like if there has been any meeting of the WTO or any meeting of the UN, something has come out there. For the body, simply the point generation, which you have to do in any case, 10 to 12 points for 10 markers, 15 to 20 points for the 20 markers, for the 15 markers. So that point generation again comes through the learning the approaches, which can be done through the Write Smart course. For value addition, the data, reports, examples. So value addition was something I went on collecting. Firstly, at the foundation stage itself, I would say Anubhav Saransh sir gave a very good set of notes where he included examples or included recommendations from second ARC and other such reports. Even one book I would say that is an underrated resource in this regard, that is Indian Constitution at Work, the NCRT. So there are a lot of quotes there, you know, there are constitutional debates, Gandhiji's quotes on, for example, how local bodies are the apex of governance. So there I collected, from there I collected these quotes and all. Apart from that, you can always use resources like Mains 365, topper copies, model answers of test series, etc. Then how did I make governance answers specific and impactful? So in governance, it is simply try to answer the demand of the question, and if your static is prepared, I mean if your base notes are prepared, then governance is not that difficult to handle. One small tip I would give, that is to integrate ethics with governance, because these are topics, there are topics which are studied in both ethics and governance separately, like transparency, accountability. You can always mention some ethical case study in brief, or some quote you can mention. So integrating ethics with governance is something which works well. How I approached international relations, especially for dynamic questions. So intro is the best place to show that you are aware of current affairs, because often the questions are also asked in context of something that has recently happened. Like in the past, there have been questions on AUKUS, the year that AUKUS itself was formed. So mention something related to that in the intro, so that you show that you acknowledge that you are aware of what is happening. In the body also, give recent points, like suppose UN reforms are being asked. So mention the fact that how S. Jaishankar sir has talked about reformed multilateralism. Keep track of the important functionaries, what they are saying. The External Affairs Minister, the Honorable Prime Minister himself. They give certain speeches on these events when two countries are meeting, when some dignitary is coming to visit. So keep track of those developments, keep track of what is being said there. You can use direct quotes also. Country specific and region specific frameworks for IR. So I did not really follow the frameworks for the answers, but while making notes, for example, there is a framework which I am remembering now, which actually Shivran sir himself showed from his own notes. That is, suppose you are studying the relations between two countries, or India and some other country. So MedicShed is a framework you can use, which are basically the different dimensions of the relations. M for military, E for economic, D for diplomatic, C for cultural, H for, hospitality or people to humanitarian relations, like that. So that was a framework I followed for remembering the different dimensions. High scoring themes and topics. High scoring themes and topics, or rather the themes and topics which keep getting repeated, that is something which comes through the thorough analysis of PYQs. Every keyword in the syllabus matters, and almost every PYQ that has been asked, that also matters, because it can either get repeated or asked in a different way, just framed in a different way. Like for example, pressure groups is a topic which I saw was being asked in alternate years. It was asked in 2017, then 19, then 21, then 23. So strongly expected for 25, and question came also there. So these are some trends you can analyze close to the exam when you don't have time for going through all the topics perhaps. So, and managing time in the GS2 paper. So for the GS2 paper, one thing you can do is write the same subject answers together in a block. Like for example, in the 10 marker questions, first 4 may be from polity. Then again the questions from 11 to 15, they may be from polity. So if you want to maintain that flow, you can write them together as a block so that you don't face that mental transition which is a bit difficult when you move from one subject to a different subject, like from polity to IR, for example. And other than that, managing time is simply dependent on your practice and your how many mock tests, how many full length mock tests you have given, and gradually speed also improves as you practice even more. Mistakes I initially made. So since this was my first mains, it's difficult to actually point myself any mistakes I have made. One thing I would do if I were to ever give mains again is to prepare short notes, because I mostly revised from the PYQs itself, like the evaluated PYQs. But having short notes makes you cover all the topics. PYQs are not always so exhaustive. Different dimensions can be asked which you do not have in your PYQs. So gauging those dimensions and making short notes out of them, this is something I would do if I were to ever give mains again. Use of flowcharts, diagrams, headings, etc. I did not use them very frequently. So diagrams, whenever you maybe features of something are asked, something like citizens charter, so you can use hub spoke diagram. In fact, the type of diagrams again is something which Mudit Jain sir has mentioned in his lecture series. So you can look there for different types of diagrams which can be given. Subheadings definitely I used, because the question usually comes in 2 or more parts. So break that your answer into parts also to explain that you have understood how different parts are there in the question, and also to generate more points. It's always easier to generate more points if you have more subheadings. So I did very religiously divide the question into subheadings. Now, how I handled unexpected, unconventional questions. So yes, GS2 paper this year was a bit on the unconventional lines. So see, if you have studied a paper thoroughly, then it won't be that you do not know anything at all. There might be lack of depth, or you might have peripheral knowledge. So simply present that peripheral knowledge in a way that is logical and that is not entirely senseless. So like there was a question I think on specific sections of Representation of People's Act. So I did not remember those specific sections very well, but whatever I did remember about what is there in the RPA and whatever the question was, in that regard, whatever little I could gather, I simply put that forth in my answer. Last 2-month revision strategy for GS2. So I did not really follow any specific revision strategy. For beginners, right approach to start GS2. So for beginners, I would just give this advice that polity is something you will do anyway. I'm sure you will give importance to it. Just make sure that you are able to distinguish that polity is a different subject when studied for prelims, different for mains. Just keeps your eyes and ears open for that. And also don't neglect these subjects of governance and social justice. Many students don't take main specific subjects that seriously early on. So these are high yield subjects, these are high marks fetching subjects also. Prepare them thoroughly from the beginning stage. And for IR, yes, current affairs do keep changing, bilateral dynamics, geopolitics does keep changing. But that does not mean that you should not be aware of the static part of the history of relations between two countries, etc. So pay attention at your foundation stage and go on updating the current affairs through newspapers and through magazines later on. So that was it for GS2. Thank you to the aspirants for watching, and thank you to DKT for giving me the platform to share my experience.